Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has set an ambition of 3 million metric tons of copper production within the next decade. The president says his administration is creating an attractive and competitive investment climate built on transparency, consistency, predictability and fairness while acting against corruption. The biggest question that forms the major thrust of our program this beautiful day is how are stakeholders reacting to this? Welcome to Mining Corner. My name is Brian Mlamba. Hello there and welcome to Mining Corner. Now, by 2050, the demand for the red metal is envisaged to increase to about 40% to keep pace with global demand. As the second largest producer of copper in Africa, Zambia has a crucial role to play in meeting this demand. Now, the country has set an annual target of 3 million metric tons per annum by 2035. Now, this target represents almost 330% increase from last year's recorded production of approximately 698,000 metric tons of copper. The biggest question is whether or not this is realistic. We find more as we have this conversation with Dr. Godwin Ndubene, who is coming in from the Chamber of Mines. It's good to have you on the program. There's so much to talk about when it comes to the mining sector right now, the country's major forex earner. And we've got an ambition here. Government has set the ambition, of course, led by the president of this great republic. I would just like to get your reaction on how realistic this ambition is, you think?
Good afternoon, Brian, and thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about the subject that everybody thinks will not happen. I want to be very affirmative. The 3 million metric ton finished copper is doable, and I believe that in the time frame that Zambia has given itself, it will happen. Now, this is not the first time that we are talking about crossing the 1 million ton production.
All right.
Actual fact, Brian, this cross should have happened by 2015. We began talking about going beyond 1 million tons way back in 2009, 2010. So the Minister of Finance had just started, now that the investment climate is attractive. He just restated and uplifted what he had stated before way back in 2010. That at that time we were saying by 2015 we should have had crossed over to 1.5 million tons. So yes, affirmatively it's doable, but there's work to be done. It has been up to that point. There's work to be done, and I think the skeptics do
they have the right to be skeptical
yes,
about the ambition, you think?
Yeah, they are justifiable because they do not know what must be done, or they know, and they think it's very but not in Zambia. For example, our friends in exploration, they know what it takes. So when they're being cautious about it, is because they understand they need to raise capital.
Yeah.
They need to have a stable investment climate for that capital to be utilized and mature, and a stable policy, government policy that supports exploration. And as you can see now, things are happening. The government itself, apart from putting money in the budget to fund the exploration, they've actually, the government itself has gotten up to start exploring. So these things, it's doable. And we in the Chamber of Mines are excited.
All right.
We have waited for this for a long time.
You talk about those who are skeptical about this ambition, and they base their arguments on the statistics that have come through over the past 3 years, which indicate a decline in annual production. For instance, last year it dropped, by about 8%. And with that said, they're thinking this ambition sounds very good on paper, but it's not what the ground can give us. Given the investment that we've put in and given where we're coming from and the many challenges that keep on punctuating activities in the mining sector. What's your reaction to that?
Brian, the minerals must germinate. It's a correct observation that production has dropped, and there are reasons for that, which I suppose we can go in. But let me just explain. Minerals need to germinate. For that to happen, okay, we need to explore. Accepted. There is a period that that one must go through, from exploration to mining, development to production. But I always use this example that we are skeptical here. Congo is where it is now because 10 years ago, okay, while we are still tinkering with the policies here, 10 years ago, when there was one drill rig working in Zambia, there were 10 in Congo. There were 10. Just barely 10 years ago.
The difference is quite huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you don't drill, okay, after you have flown over your country, you go to drill. And the best people tell you this will be our exploration guys. But we know generally what happens. After you detect and define your target, you must get on the ground. Yeah. And it's at that time that when you are working on a target, you can hope that you will find a mineable resource. Now, in Zambia, mineable resource is no longer 3-4%. We are talking about anything from 0.3 and above. That's where we are today. So, so in as far as we are concerned, this is a matter that will happen when we encourage exploration. At its fullest.
You were part of the delegates that were comprising the INSACA. Tell us about the common issues that came out, and do you think that the mining sector is singing the same song?
After 100 years and reviewing our industry, I think good things are bound to come going forward. Okay, great things in terms of getting this country fully explored, greenfield mines opened. And even smaller ones. There are mines now that are waiting to start. So I think that that's going. But apart from that, other things that happened there was the activities with the mining industry are tracked. You must expect them to happen as we talk about the 3 million tonnes. Infrastructure, particularly infrastructure, you should expect that one to develop. Yeah. Power is one of them, because there's no point. We didn't have time, but there's no point talking about 3 million tonnes if you are not preparing power for this country. Skills, we need 150 new skills, 150,000, I beg your pardon, 150,000 new skills that should be available to support the ambition of 3 million tonnes across the whole mine chain. So this is the most exciting time of our life in the mining industry.
Yeah. Excellent. So there are more jobs coming in the mining sector.
There will be more jobs coming in the mining industry.
Given the ambition that we have.
Thank you very much. Mining industry attracts all careers. All careers.
With that said, let's take a break. We continue with the Mining Corner on this beautiful day. We've got so much to talk about. We still have got one more interaction to bring to the fore. Stay with us.
Zambia's mining history cannot be documented without the contributions of Mopani copper mines. The mining giant has been one of the largest copper producers in Zambia, producing the most sought-after premium copper cathodes on the global market since the 1930s when it was established. After a challenging period in the past few years, Mopani has renewed vigor and hope to get back its historic position with the coming in of a new shareholder, International Resources Holding, IRH. On 21st March 2024, President Hakainde Hichilema officially symbolically relaunched Mopani copper mines with the coming in of IRH, who have so far injected millions of dollars, which will see Mopani increase production from about 80,000 metric tons to over 200,000 metric tons per year. All this in line with Zambia's vision of increasing and meeting the targeted 3 million metric tons of copper by the year 2032.
The incoming of the new investors is a very positive move, which we are very grateful and happy about, because it's very beneficial to us as a mine and as miners as a whole, because we had shortage of resources in the recent past, which affected us negatively in terms of production. And also it also affected us individually in terms of job security and awareness of career development and other things. But with the incoming of the new investor, it gives life to the mine of the capital investment that has been put in, and also we hope to achieve our targets this time around because resources will be readily available and jobs will be secured for our miners, and also even incoming jobs. Already we are seeing adverts moving around of job employment being created, which is a very positive move for the community at large as well.
With the expansion project scheduled for completion in 3 years, this provides an opportunity for capacity building for the locals. This is why Mopani Copper Mines has taken a lead in training young people through different skill sets that are responsive to the ever-evolving mining sector.
Instrumentation has a lot to do with controlling and calibrating different instruments, and I'm particularly interested in that. It also has a lot to do with technologies because, technologies are changing. I enjoy it very much, especially at this institution, because we have a lot of things, we have a lot of machinery. So if you can go to any institution that you can learn a lot, it's this one.
What I found interesting about the facility is that with everything that we're learning, they take you through the hands-on, and they also have the right equipment so that you're able to learn exactly what you're learning. It's been known that this field is mostly for males, but then that's not actually the case, because I've met some ladies here who are already studying here. For example, with welding, I was very afraid when I was doing it because the flames were on my face as I was working. But the person who was actually demonstrating to me was a female. So because she was able to do it and she was doing it very well, I was able to see that it's not really about gender. Sometimes if you are just brave and you are dedicated to the work that you do, you can do it.
A prized national asset, Mopani Copper Mines brings a new dynamic to the growth of the mining sector that has renewed hope to local businesses in the country.
We've had our giant Mopani quiet for a bit of a while, and it's had a very big impact on us. Business was stalled, and we are very excited about this new investor. We look forward to much more business as in the past, and probably even a lot more. Mopani did keep copper belt quite a lot, and we're looking forward to that, because then that opens up avenues for us. As they grow, we also grow. There's a lot of hope, especially since we've heard that they're going to go on with their, what I call them, expansion programs. There's a lot more business to look at, and I think even as the CEO mentioned at the opening the last time, there's a lot that they're doing that they will complete their work, and then that's more business for us still. And then I think it will carry on with a lot more, both here in Kitwe and in their Mufulira outfit.
We were affected quite adversely because we were not getting paid for a while. We still kept supplying. We understand the challenges that any big entity goes through, but we still supported as partners in the business. So we did ride the wave. But not only were we affected in that way, but we were also affected by all your other clients, your other contractors who were also our clients and not being able to pay us because they were not getting paid. So it's a vicious cycle here. So when we don't get paid, others don't get paid, everybody's just having a hard time.
With a shareholding structure of 51% for IRH and 49% for ZCC-MIH, it is no doubt Mopani's future outlook remains positive. This is Mining Corner.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. Now, my next conversation is one that is going to be very interesting, just like the first one. I'm joined by Dr. Sixtus Mulenga, who is founder and executive chairman at Musamu Resources Limited. Dr. Mulenga is the first Zambian to own and run a large-scale manganese mine. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here.
It's a great honor to have you. It's not easy to get you from your busy schedule to bring you in the studio. We are so honored. We don't take it lightly that you've managed to find time to be part of the show. Let's begin by just getting your general sense of what many experts always bring about when we're discussing the mining sector, diversifying the mine sector. in your view, what's your submission as far as this is concerned?
You see, everybody knows that the Zambian economy is anchored and has been driven by the mining industry. But that development over the last 100 years, as you know, we have been celebrating the mining in Saka to celebrate our 60 years of independence. It has primarily been driven by copper. And we feel now what this government is doing with respect to creating an investor-friendly environment is time to grow the mining industry and diversify it. And in so doing, my thrust would be to share with the nation the direction we should be heading. And the direction we should be heading is to diversify within the mining industry. And since today we are talking about manganese, I would like to state that manganese provides us with a trajectory to be a leader in the green economy, the global green economy. As you know, government declared critical minerals, and those critical minerals, copper, lithium, cobalt, and manganese. And the issue is that with manganese, we can make chemical manganese to make electric vehicle batteries. That can be done in Zambia. You know, that's one. Two, manganese is used in the steel industry, and therefore we can make manganese alloys, you know, like silicon manganese, ferroalloy manganese. And with that, Zambia right now, in its history, can begin to create another industry, major industry, which would be the steel industry. The steel industry is very essential. Anywhere in the world you go, no country has developed without steel. And you can see how much steel we import, even at individual level. To build our own houses, we have to have steel bars, these rebars, and so on. But the future now should be, we must make those in Zambia.
All right.
So apart from the green economy, Zambia is endowed with a lot of resources. So we have gemstones, we've got emeralds, we've got amethyst, aquamarine, we've got precious metals like gold. We have industrial minerals. We have energy minerals. You know, we have this drought. Zambia can solve that drought by exploiting its coal. We have coal, a lot of coal in the Zambezi Basin.
All right. You speak so well about the fact that we all know what's happening in terms of how the world is embracing the green energy transition. And Zambia must ensure that it does position itself in a very good space. But what should we do for us to be able to attain that aspiration of ensuring that we make the most out of our comparative advantage in this situation?
We must draw from the experience we've had for mining since independence, 60 years.
All right.
We are a world-class mining country. So we have the experience. We are not novices in mining. Many decades people have come to learn mining. The world came to learn mining in Zambia. So we have the experience. What is that experience? That experience tells us that mining has to be fully integrated and follow the value chain. Okay? By that I mean mining has to include, it has to be inclusive. So you should have artisanal miners, small-scale miners, medium-scale miners, and large-scale miners, and the processing plants. So you have a fully integrated, so that what you produce, you are able to add value and to beneficiate. That knowledge we have. And the good news, we have the resources of manganese in northern Zambia, in particular in Luapula province. So we can use manganese to industrialize the northern part of Zambia.
Lastly, you are coming from the conference.
Yes.
Were your interests secured? Were they addressed? You who's operating in the manganese mining space?
Yes, of course they were.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a very successful mining in Saka. The beauty of it, it's a dialogue, remember?
Yeah.
It's open dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's the first of its kind since we got independence.
Right.
The beauty is that people are able to speak freely, objectively.
All right.
Yes.
The Minister of Finance cited you as an example of Zambians who are actively involved in the mining sector.
Yes.
What else can be done to bring on board more Zambians to own mines like yourself?
This government has done what it takes to encourage every Zambian to come into mining. The rest is up to us as Zambians. We must have the courage to go into the unknown. Yeah, and have patience, have perseverance, and just be happy with yourself, with your dream. It's your dream. Live it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming through, and thank you very much for being an example of what Zambians can do.
No, I want to share something else in the diversification.
Do you mind doing it under a minute?
Yes, I will.
Right, please.
Zambia has got potential for oil and gas. We must explore that. Okay, I'm adding to that.
All right.
But all these minerals and all that must be anchored and support and catalyze agriculture.
All right.
That's the way we are going to industrialize Zambia rapidly.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you very much. I wish you would have spoken for a long time, but I'm afraid we have to leave it here for now. Thank you very much for coming to all the best.
Yeah.
All right. All right. It's Dr. Sixtus Mulenga appearing on the program this beautiful day, discussing, mining of manganese. Up next on the Mining Corner, the quiz. Welcome back. Now, listen, let's get to just catch a glimpse of what is happening when it comes to the mining sector, both on the local front and, of course, beyond our borders in our mining news segment. And that will do for the program. We're back again next week. Please make a date as we find out what's happening when it comes to the mining sector on Mining Corner. Many thanks to the two guests who came through this beautiful day, Dr. Bene and Dr. Mulenga. And thanks to you folks for watching. My name is Brandon Mlamba. Have yourself a fantastic day. Bye-bye.